What's going on? Ooh. Welcome, man. Welcome back to the channel, guys. What's going on, man? Real quick. Most customers want their transmission to last forever with no... Ain't gonna happen, player. It just ain't gonna happen, man. You can leave that damn filter in there if you want to forever. You can listen to some of these car manufacturers tell you, don't change it. It's filled for life. Don't touch it. You can listen to that foolishness if you want to. All right? Now, don't be going back and saying little old JT said, y'all crazy. Ain't no such thing as a fill for life. Eventually, the filter will need to be replaced. All right? I told y'all my take on this fill for life nonsense talk. They don't want you touching it while it's under warranty. Okay? Man, that's a whole lot of... I mean, we can go home for days talking about that. But there's no such thing as a lifetime fluid, guys. Please. No. Every time you start your car and it runs, that torque converter, which has clutches, torque converter, it wears. The trash and debris that's accumulated in a normally running transmission will end up in the pan. The filter have to catch that before it gets to the pump and cause any damage. That's the whole purpose of having a filter. So yes, at some point, every transmission needs to be serviced. You can help prolong the life of your trans. Our transmission is inevitably going to fail. There's no way around. Everything has a lifespan to it. We all going to die someday. Just the same go with engines and transmission. You're going to eventually die. Now, it's like a human body. You eat right and exercise, you're helping to prolong your freaking life. Transmission. You do a service on it, you can help prolong. Ooh, that was a terrible example. I'm sorry if I sounded insensitive. I apologize, people. All right. Ryan Lane. I have gotten 100K plus out of all transmissions I had. Chevy, Mopar, Mercedes, etc. Take care of your stuff and it would take... Good point, my friend. Good point, my friend. Damn good point, okay? Guys, I don't know what your book says, manual, about recommended fluid change intervals, but whatever it is, try to at least follow that. Okay. Yes, good point. My man. JT, chasing a front end clunking noise. The shop replaced struts, upper control arms, and stabilizing links. Got a clunk over bumps. It's a 2014 Durango, 100K miles. Any tips on what to check next? Well, how do I go when I'm chasing clunks? I do utilize the rack that will keep the load on the vehicle, such as the alignment rack. I tend to utilize the alignment rack for clunking issues because I'm trying to simulate that bump. So I get under the car and jounce it up and down, hoping I hear what it is the customer hearing. That would make diagnosis easier. So depends on if you got the load on the car. To me, it's easier to diagnose suspension noise with the load on the car. Everybody is different, so I'm not going to say that's the best way to do it. No, I wouldn't dare say nothing like that. But that is one tactic JT employ. Like I said, I put it on the rack. Now go to the rear, and I get under there and bang on stuff, cat converter them, all kinds of stuff. If I hit the cat and go, you know, that's not a steering clunk noise, but don't let that fool you, okay? Listening for any type of noise, so don't just zone in on suspension. You want to hear if anything loose under there, because it might be fooling you. It might not be suspension, but that's the only thing I can suggest, man. Put the load on the vehicle while you check it. Grab the prop bar, and you know the drill. Start prying and stuff until you find a loose point. All right, good stuff, bro. 2010 Chrysler Sebring with a 2.4 jam keeps getting a misfire at cylinder number 1 while driving. I changed the plugs, coil injectors, and check compression. Want any info like that? The little 2.4 I had the other day while I put a PCM on that damn thing, and also found out I had a misfire when I once got it running with the PCM. A lot of people got that video confused. The PCM was not replaced because of the misfire. It came in no start, no runs. I put the PCM on it, go to drive it. What do you know? I got a misfire. All right, so I took it upon myself to further diagnose the misfire. Now, the way I went by that is what we used to do back in the day called cylinder balance test. You can do something, because this was an easy 4-cylinder engine, you can do that manually. All right. Now, I know Tom remember this. The old scan tool used to have an option called a cylinder balance test, maybe, where you can do it electronically with the scan tool. You can kill cylinder 1, see if the idle change. Basically the same thing I did with removing the coils. Okay, so but you telling me you changed the plug, the coil, injector, and check compression was at 170 psi. Any thoughts? It's time to start looking for outside interference. Now, it could be anything, man. Spray some brake cleaner down in that area where cylinder 1 is. You could be sucking in air. All right. Sometimes I've been bit like that before. Cat converter can cause that. Okay. Now, is the misfire active? Meaning it's going on. You can see misfire counting while you actually diagnose it. Because you're telling me all secondary ignition have been replaced. That doesn't mean secondary ignition is doing what it's supposed to do. Just because it's a new coil do not automatically mean you have power supply and ground going to the coil. You could easily simply have a driver in the PCM that feeds that coil or that injector. Okay, so a lot of guys use Nord light to make sure the circuit is complete for the injector. You know, if your light is lighting, you know the PCM doing what it's supposed to do. But new parts don't automatically make power supply and ground happen. Okay, you still need those. So a couple of things. The coil, verify it's on the, what kind of car is this? Sebring, older model. Verify the coil is likely always powered, but in order for it to do its thing, spark, it's duty cycle ground from the PCM. So it's power supply from the ASD. The red, might be green and orange. Power supply. The other wire, on off, ground from the PCM. Okay. If that's not happening, you still can have a misfire in cylinder 1, even with a new coil. So my point is, you got some more diagnosing to do. All right. Yes. Make sure the intake is not leaking. Make sure those parts you just replaced is receiving the source that it needs to operate. All right, because there ain't much left. Okay, I've seen cat converters throw rear codes, bounce misfires all over the place. I've seen intake manifolds leak. It's a 2010. You very well could easily have intake leak. Spray some brake cleaner down there, my friend. You have some more diagnosing to do, but I got faith and confidence in you, my friend. You can get to the bottom of this. If you did all of that, ain't no quitting at this point. You're committed. You have to keep going. Okay. Yes. Now, only thing I can do from where I sit is give you advice. So never, and I tell people this all the time, never think I have the answer, but we can speak about it, okay? Because where I sit, again, I don't know what the problem is, but we can talk about it, and I can give you some pointers on where I think you should go based off what you already did, which is what I've just done, all right? Yeah, so we do it like that. But yeah, man, you got some, follow those, you know, what I just mentioned.